I think at this point we've all seen plenty of examples of two-tier policing and two-tier sentencing and so forth. There's no need to go into that again. However, I think it's clear now that Keir Starmer is totally ignoring the underlying problems this country faces. It seems that his strategy is to just arrest any troublemakers and strike fear into anyone who has a dissenting opinion so he can push forward with a mass immigration multiculturalist agenda. Whether he does this because he's genuinely sinister or just a leftist idiot who believes mass immigration and multiculturalism are totally fine, anyone who's got a problem with it is just a thick evil bigot who needs to be shown the wisdom of leftism, is up to you. Yet the reality is that before the riots started, before the Southport stabbings, there were major problems with regards to mass immigration and multiculturalism in Britain, and if Starmer's going to ignore those, they're only going to get worse. You can see this forming already, as well many of the working classes, many people who are worried about free speech and many people who lean right in general are very worried by Keir Starmer at this point. Yet the exact opposite is happening on the left. Here we have Islamic and left-wing media stating that a Muslim man was jailed during the rioting simply for standing up to racism. Now I'll leave it to you to deduce the veracity of that story, but the point I'm getting at here is we can see very solid echo chambers developing. What I mean is many people up and down the country feel Starmer is totally out of control, that he's going completely overboard to try and make a political point. Yet on the other side, they're making out as if Muslims are also oppressed by the state. Now, you don't have to be Einstein to figure out how this is going to end, and no, Starmer's Stasi, I'm not calling for riots, you don't have to send the SWAT team round, there's no need to be violent or aggressive towards anybody. What I'm getting at here is there are huge fractures in the modern UK. It's almost as if we've got a double consciousness, or at least a multiplicity of consciousnesses around how the country actually functions and how reality generally works. Now, this is exactly what many of us who are wary about multicultural ideologies said would happen. However, predictably, you're just screamed at as an evil racist if you say anything of the sort. This is why I keep banging on about shared mythos on this channel. It's not because I hate people from other countries or other cultures, it's because at an underlying level, once you have different moral value systems, you can no longer disagree and come to some sort of conclusion. You fundamentally understand reality in a different way. Remember, a massive multicultural project like the modern West is attempting has never been successfully carried out in history. And the only bind we seem to have is basically a philosophy of just earn as much money as you can for yourself, enjoy a life of hedonism, and embrace the woke philosophy of tolerance and love. Yet of course that ideology is only really welcomed by idiots and elites, people who don't have to deal with the actual issues of multiculturalism and only get the benefits from their skyscrapers in London and from the home counties. And I think this is why many people are getting fed up. They're being spoken down to as if they're morally inferior by people who actually are showing moral cowardice to not want to deal with the actual issues the country is facing. And this is why, to me, it seems like we're in another tinderbox. The riots have been panned down for now, but there are many reasons why they could spark up again in all differing forms of communities for all differing forms of reasons. Now, when you're in situations such as this, you need very clear-thinking leaders who can be aware of the complexities of the issues. It seems to me that the Labour Party are completely out of their depth and completely swimming in utopian ideology which just does not represent reality. And given we've got 5 more years of Labour, my prediction is this is only going to get worse down the line. However, as I often say, the silver lining is it will wake more and more people up to the realities we're actually facing. These are just my thoughts, however. Do let me know what you think down below, and do consider subscribing to the channel.